Welcome back. This is Barry here again, and this is puzzle 6A, which is the last of our easy ones. Now, seeing it's the step before the hard ones, a little bit of a change. This time you will solve it, you'll have a try. Well, when you come back, I'll show you the solution, and then I'll show you the key and flag and fodder just to work them out. That's how we'll do it, and that should speed things up a little bit, we think. Okay, here we go. Number one across. Ken got itch inside scullery. There are 7 spaces and no givens. There it is over there. 7 spaces, no givens. Over to you. Have a go. Pause, solve, and then resume. Okay, you're back again. Now, the answer is kitchen. Is that what you got? Let's see why. Because the key is scullery, which is a kitchen, obviously. And how does it work? Look at the rest of the clue. You can see how it works. All right. Ken got itch inside. Inside is a container flag, which tells you that Ken and itch are set up so that itch is actually inside Ken. And that's how you get it. Okay, all happy with that? Right, have a go at now. 1 down. Here we go. That one there, 1 down. And what is 1 down? 1 down is skip linguistics. It's too much for this author. Over to you, pause, solve, and then resume. Okay, you back now? Righto, good. Let's look at 1 down. Now the answer to 1 down, let's fill it in, is Kipling. You say, how did you get Kipling? Oh, I'm sure you have got it. Let's look at the clue. Here we go. You can see the key is going to be author. Rudyard Kipling, of course. That is the key. Right. How do we get it? Well, it's too much is the flag. And what's that the flag for? A flag for an omission. What are you omitting? Well, look in here. Omit part of linguistics. Something in there has to be omitted. And if you look at it, you can see Kipling is in there. Kipling. There he is. Kipling is there. If you omit the rest, you will get Kipling. Just watch for those flags. Okay? Because you're zeroing in on the key, but watch for the flags because they are a big help. Okay. Right, next one. 2 down. Oh, no, 2 down is too long for us right now. We'll go 3 down. 3 down. Right, what's 3 down? Here we go. Ha. The Italian has frozen rain. Pause, solve. There's four spaces. Pause, solve, and resume. Okay, you're back again. 3 down is going to be, I'm sure you've got it, is hail. How do you get hail? Well, easy enough, because the key is frozen rain, and let's look at the whole thing. The key is frozen rain, which is hail, of course, and ha, the Italian. Why does that work? Well, simply because ha is charaded with the Italian. Now, the Italian is not the Italian, it's the in Italian, which is il. So ha with il gives you hail. And that's how you get the hail in your charade. Okay? Done. Next one is going to be, well, we'll try 4 down. It looks all right. 4 down. Here we go. Where's 4 down? 4 down is this one here. Gets gun remodeled into little chunks of gold. Pause, solve, and resume. Okay. How are we going? Back again? Right. Answer to this one is nuggets. Why is it nuggets? This analysis is pretty important for you, so just keep on these analyses. Right, 4 down analysis. Here it is. Gets gun remodeled into little chunks of gold. Its answer, of course, is nuggets, and that is the key is chunks of gold, if you picked it. Right, chunks of gold, and how do we prove it? Well, gets gun remodeled. Remodel, of course, is the anagram flag. And notice it can refer to the left or to the right. Here, of course, it suggests it's left anyway, but sometimes it doesn't suggest the correct direction. Anyway, so there it is, anagram of gets gun, which is nuggets. And there we have it, end of story. Right, next one. What are we going to do now? Well, looks like 10 across has only got 4 letters, so we should have a go at that. 10 across, 4 letters with an I to start. Here we have, right. Even Dior wins flowers. 4 spaces, starting with an I. Over to you. Pause and solve and resume. Okay, is that enough time? It's only a short one. So even Dior wins flowers. 10 down, and we have, 10 across. 10 across is going to be Iris. Iris. Why is it Iris? Well, simply because even's the alternate flag, isn't it? All right, even's the alternate flag, and flowers is the key. All right, of course, flowers, Iris are flowers, and Dior wins alternate. There's your alternate. There's your I. First letter in the alternate answer, I, and there's R and I and S. I won't mark it in red, but it's pretty obvious there. There's your iris, and that's your alternate flag. Okay, next one. Well, we should go across to 15. 15, what's 15 across? 15 across is air gust, ruined musical instruments. Air gust, ruined musical instruments. 7 spaces, and don't forget we have a G at the start and an S at the end. Okay, righto, over to you. Air gust, ruined musical instruments. Pause, solve, and resume. Okay, enough time. Back again. Let's look at it. The answer, of course, if you've got it, is guitars, isn't it? Guitars. How do we get guitars? Well, look at the clue again. Air gust, ruined musical instrument. You can see that the key must be musical instruments. That's the big thing you're after all the time, is that key. And why is this so? How does it all work? Well, simply that ruined is an anagram flag, and it anagrams air gust. Now, here's a case where you could be mistaken and use that flag to the right. See, it seems like it's ruined musical instruments. Don't be mistaken. Don't be mistaken. That flag can go anywhere, even though it looks like it's linked with the phrase or word on the right. It doesn't have to be. It could refer to the one on the left, which it does here. It's the air gust that is ruined, so it's air gust ruined. You notice that? That's your linkage. The air gust ruined. So you don't have to follow slavishly what the concocted sentence suggests, because it's not really a sentence. Air gust ruins. So just be careful. Watch that flag, can go left or right. In fact, it can be in between too. So there it is. It's an anagram. End of story. But there's just this sort of discussion is what you need at this stage to point you to little salient things that are important. All right. So that's 15. Where do we go now? What would you like to do now? Well, do you want to have a go at 9 across? 9 across looks pretty long, but we do have 3 letters. If we can't get it, we'll come back after doing a few more. 9 across. Here we go. How is arsonist taking unnecessary risks? Well, how is arsonist taking unnecessary risk? It's a question mark. So it looks like it could well be a pun. Okay, over to you. Pause, solve, and resume. Okay, you're finished now. Back again. Yeah, these things do take some thinking. How is arsonist taking unnecessary risk? And the answer is he is playing with fire. Okay, playing with fire. Let's look at how it works. There's no flags, of course, in here, being a pun, and that's all it is, just a pun. How is arsonist taking unnecessary risks? And that's a pun on the word, on the phrase, playing with fire. That's what that is. So anyway, that's one of those things you get used to. When you see no flag, just one of the things you check for. All right, next one. What about 10 across? 10 across, 4 spaces with an E second. Okay, and the question is, of course it's not 10 across, it's this one, which is 11 across, isn't it? All right, 11 across. So here we go. Defy when I am inside to exalt as a god. 5 spaces with an E in the middle. Over to you. Pause, solve, and then resume. Okay, back again. Defy when I am inside to exalt as a god. And the answer is deify. Deify. Where does that come from? Well, you can see it there. Just put the key in first, and the key is exalt as a god. Right, that's the key. And looking along it, you can see defy when I am inside. Now, I am inside what? Well, I am inside defy. Notice again, it's going more to the left. Defy. When I am inside, you would think it's going to the right, but because it's not a sentence, it is not a sentence. You've got to do your linkages yourself, and that linkage is right there. All that is linked together. So just be careful, watch out for those linkages. So that's it. So there's the story. So deify is our answer. Next one. Well, this looks like a logical one. This one down here. This is 5 down with an I and an F. 5 down with an I and an F. What's that? Dad getting in almost full is causing distress. 7. Okay. Ooh, I shouldn't give you that help. Still, we'll get rid of that temporarily. Dad getting it almost full is causing distress. Over to you. Pause, solve, and resume. How did you go? I bet that was a bit tougher. Yes, it was a bit tougher, that one. So, 5 down. Here we go. 5 down. You say, how did you get that? Well, let's look at it. The answer is painful. You say, how did you get that? Well, because it's not dad, it's going to be pa. That's the thing, it's pa. You've got to think of synonyms very often. And almost full means not the whole word, means only part of it. Means take out one of the L's. So you get painful with a F-U-L. And there's the whole story. Let's look at it. Here we go. Dad getting in almost full is causing a stress. Now it's pa. Getting in, so it's contained. So it's pa in almost full. Pa in full. Okay? Getting, so it's a charade. Not getting in, it's getting. So it's charade those two, charade those three together, and don't forget to omit the L, so it's an omission as well. So there it is. That's why it's painful. Okay? All right, let's look at 5 across. 5 across now. 5 across, here we go. 5 across. Applauded when the spider got loose. Applauded when the spider got loose. And here it is. 5 across with a P to start. Okay? Righto. Have a go. Pause, solve, and resume. Okay. The answer is praised. How did we get praised? Well, applauded is your key. So, that's your praised. And let's see the rest of it. When the spider got loose, loose is the anagram flag for spider. If you anagram a spider, you get praised. And that's it. Okay? I hope you got it. Next one, let's look at this one here, which is going to be 6 down. 6 down, here we go. Long for a half cherry. 6 down, long for a half cherry. And 6 down has an A and an H. Over to you, pause, solve, and then resume. How did you go? Got it right? All right. The answer to that is ache. Ache. Why is it ache? 6 down says long for a half cherry. Why is it long for a half cherry? Well, the key is long for, of course. The key is long for. And so what we have is a charade of the A with half a cherry. If you charade A with half a cherry, well, you get A-C-H-E. And that's half that cherry. There's 3 letters left. So there it is, a charade and an omission to get you the key, get you the answer for that long for. Okay, end of story. Next one. What about, well, this is only a short one. We don't have any letters, but let's try that one. 12 across. 12 across. We have girl in central. Girl is central to poem made by Jane Austen. 4. 12 across. Over to you, pause, solve, and resume. Right, as soon as you see Jane Austen, something made by Jane Austen, you think of the book. It's not a poem, it's a book, which is Emma, isn't it? All right, so 12 across is Emma. We've probably all read Emma. Pretty interesting, pretty good book. All right, let's look at it. So 12 across, let's see how it works. Poem made. See, it's not a poem, and that's the whole thing. It looks like they're talking about a poem by Jane Austen. It's not talking about a poem by Jane Austen. That's the whole point. That is completely divorced from the story about Jane Austen. Jane Austen isolated by itself. That's it. The poem made is just put there so you can look inside it and see the word Emma. That's what it's for. All right? Now, that's where you can get confused, and you mustn't. You must remember that these words are all divorced from each other, like Frankenstein's monster, bits and pieces everywhere, and then they're all stitched together to look like a sentence, and they're not. So look, you must be able to make your own decision about which ones you're going to stitch together. And how does it work? Central is the flag saying go to the centre. If you look at EMMA, it is the centre of poem made. Okay? And girl is the centre, and that's your key. All right? The girl is Emma. Okay, rightio, girl called Emma. Right, end of story. So, next one, we're going to do, well, we may as well do this one. 8 down. 8 down. You have a D, an E, and an A there. All right, 8 down. We have, I'd heard about being an intransigent. I'd heard about being an intransigent. 3, 4. Over to you. Pause, solve, and resume. Okay, back again. Well, the answer is die hard. Die hard, you say. How did you get die hard? Well, you've got to look at your clue. Here we go. I'd heard about being an intransigent, and of course the key is intransigent. And that, as what's an intransigent? You probably know. You might have looked it up. I don't know. But an intransigent is a person who not inclined to or refuses to agree with things. Doesn't want to do what you say. He's intransigent. So that's what intransigent is, and that's a diehard. Diehard, you just won't do it. Okay, so there we go. Let's look at the whole thing now. Right. See, I'm willing to change views. That's what I've got there, so you'll see it. That's what intransigent is. It's not a homophone, even though it says I've heard about. And I put these things in because it's pretty important for you to see that. I've heard about being, sometimes you've heard about, you think, well, that's going to be a homophone. But it's not always. It doesn't have to be. And it's not here either. Okay, I've heard about, so being an intransigent, and if you, about is the anagram flag, you anagram I've heard, and what do you get? You get die hard. How about that? It's a change, isn't it? And this sort of discussion is what you have to do yourself. Okay? Righto. So I put die hard in there. 8 down. 8 down. Well, we got it there. And one last one before we go. And we look at this one here, which is 16 across. 16 across. We have compared 50 Romans to Ike and Ned. Compared 50 Romans to Ike and Ned. Okay, pause, solve, and resume. Okay, got the answer. 16 across. 16 across is likened. How do we get likened? Well, look at your clue again. You can see exactly what happened. All right. Now, there's Ike and Ned. Whenever you see personal or proper names, you know they're probably going to be fodder. Okay? And 50 Romans abbreviates to L. So L, I-K-E-N-E-D spells likened. It's a charade. All right? And don't forget you got an abbreviation there, but you don't mark over here. And the key, of course, is compared. And if you compared something, you likened them to something, even though they use like all over this place these days and doesn't necessarily mean that anymore. They just drop it because it's there. But anyway, likened is supposed to mean similar to. All right? Okie dokie. That's 16 across. We've got that one. We better, well, we have a shot at this one. Maybe we should have a shot at this one. It's a pretty long one, but there's 4 letters there. It'll give us a good head start onto whatever else we're going to do. All right, 7 down. You got S, an I, and an M. 7 down. 7 down. Bathing cuts some out of suitable attire for the seaside. Bathing cuts some out of suitable attire for the seaside. 8 and 7. And don't forget, we have S, blank I, blank M, blank N. Okay? Pause, solve, and resume. Okay, back again. The answer to that is, I'm sure you got it, swimming costume. How do we get swimming costume in 7 down? Well, let's look at it. Bathing cuts them out of suitable attire for the seaside. Obviously, that's the key. Suitable attire for the seaside. Okay, which is a swimming costume. How did you get it? Well, let's look at the rest of it. Here we go. Oops. Now, bathing cuts some out. Now, you get the bathing, which is part of your charade. I'll put that in there. I've got a note for you there. Put the whole thing in. Right. Bathing. Oh, it's actually the, yeah, tricks. Bathing cuts some out. So bathing added to. Now you want costume. Is that costume? Is that costume there? Yes, it is, isn't it? But of course it's anagrammed. Notice the anagram attached to the cut sum. Now this doesn't cut any out of this. It doesn't cut things out of that. It cuts things out of the previous thing. So again, you got to watch it's jumping to the left. Cut some out, and out is anagrammed. Out anagrams cut some. So you've got an omission, an anagram, and then a charade of those two things, and that's how it works. That's how you get it. Okay. Well, we might do one more long one to give us a start of the next section. 2 down. 2 down. Look at this. There's a big one. All right. So 2 down is conservatives have customary habit to be put on A lists. All right. Over to you. Pause. Solve. And then resume. Okay. Back again with 2 down. Conservatives have customary habit to be put on A lists. 15 spaces, 1 word, and the answer, of course, is traditionalists. You say, good Lord, how did you get that? Well, let's look at the clue. Now, the key, of course, is conservatives, which you have to find. Of course, it's most important that you get the key. Conservatives have a customary habit to be put on A list. Well, you can look at the whole thing now. You can see how it's made up. Customary habit is a tradition, isn't it? That's a tradition. Customary habit is a tradition. And if you add to that A-lists, traditionalists, that's how you get the whole thing. So it's a charade. Got the idea? And look out for these synonyms, because often in the little bit harder ones, you're going to find that it's not just the word you put in there, you've got to use a synonym of the word. And that's a big step that you have to get used to, looking for synonyms of words to use, not just the words themselves. The words themselves happen only in the easy ones. A little bit harder, you start having to find your synonyms. Okay, I hope you like that one, and we'll do the rest of this one shortly. Thanks for watching.